It's really loud. Welcome to the Lord Petty Podcast. Appreciate you tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, blessings. I appreciate you being here. Whatever forces in the world conjured you to be here, I'm glad they happened. Hopefully it wasn't something terrible. Hopefully you didn't get in a car accident yesterday, which now you're sitting around waiting on something to clear and you got nothing else better to do. So you got on the internet and you saw somebody that you strongly disliked reposted a podcast. And you say, let me go check this garbage out. And here you are. I hope it's under better circumstances. Hold on. It's a little too loud. I can hear myself a little too much. It's like I'm whispering in my ears. But welcome, you guys. Welcome. I got something to confess. Last podcast, I said there wouldn't be a podcast for 2 weeks. And I wasn't lying, but I was lying about the reasoning. But I didn't mean to lie, okay? I did not mean to lie, and I know a lie is a lie. And if motherfuckers is lying about little things, they're lying about big things. So if motherfuckers is lying, get them the fuck out of your life. But I inadvertently lied because I said I was going to go to Alaska to watch a real whale breach the waters instead of watching a feminist breach the waters of society, because I wanted to see some actual whales with purpose versus the pink-haired ones. But I got flaked out on. Nothing, motherfuckers was done fishing. Why am I saying motherfuckers so much? But yeah, motherfuckers was done fishing, so they had no use for me. So I went and helped Captain Big Dick out some more. And God, it's been that long, huh? It's been that long since I've done a little podcast, but that's okay, You got to take breaks sometimes. Sometimes breaks are productive. It's like when you're working out, even though I have no room to talk because I'm like skinny fat right now. If you don't rest your muscles, if you don't rest the muscle, it can't grow. It's like anything else. If you study for 10 hours straight, you're not going to know shit because you just overdid it versus giving yourself a good, nourished study of 2 or 3 hours. So that's what I got to do sometimes. I got to take some time off, make sure I'm not just sitting here trashing the same people over and over. And speaking of this podcast is going to pivot. Yes, Butthole Biden, the page has been deleted, and I do not think I'm getting it back this time because I've gotten it back, I think, about 3 times. So thank you, everybody that's reposted my other page, my main page, my brand page, Lord Petty, the lifeline, the lifeblood of this whole operation. Butthole Biden was its own little thing. It was my own little experiment of diving into politics. And I didn't even really mean to go down that route, to be honest. I made this Amy Schumer meme one day, and it went super viral, but I made a meme where it had Amy Schumer saying, "Oh, I'm naked." And the caption was 2020 can't get any worse. And I put a picture of Amy Schumer saying that she's naked. And this page called Millennial Republicans I think they got like 800,000 or something like that. So they picked it up and they reposted it. And, I messaged them saying, "Hey, it's my shit. Can you shout me out?" And they shouted me out. So I started getting a lot of people following me who were kind of right-leaning people. And that was my first taste of just influx. That was my first taste of attention. And so I kind of just fed into it. It's like, okay, what can I feed? But then I started just kind of losing myself within that, to where I've always kind of been just a very... I don't like leaning one way very strong versus the other. But, right now, I guess the lefties are super nuts. So it kind of makes sense to, I'd rather butt up with the people on the right now, even though I don't agree with all their abortion shit. But it's all good. Do whatever you want to do. I don't give a fuck. That's not what I want to do anymore. I want to bring, because when I'm doing that, sure, I'm making some people laugh, but then I'm alienating other people because I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know what their views on life are, even though if they might be dead wrong. But that's why we live and we learn, so you can come to these conclusions. Unless you're trying to, I guess one thing I will say with that, a lot of people on the right, they just want to be left the fuck alone. A lot of people on the left, they want to tell everybody else how to live. But I that's why I kind of lean over here with the right wingers, where I just leave me alone. Let me do whatever I want to do. Same thing. Like if you want to go do something I don't agree with, like fuck a guy in the butt or have an abortion or something like that. Like, that's none of my business, you know? But this podcast and everything is going to take a big pivot, okay? Because we are focused over here on bettering ourselves at all costs, okay? That's my new thing. I've talked about my new things: gratitude, bettering, and just progressing. You know, I don't want to be like all these political people where they would have nothing to talk about if it wasn't for bad things in the world. And I don't want to constantly focus on bad things. Call me a pussy. But it's just, you know, you control the things you can control. You train yourself with a firearm. You vote, and, you know, you educate those that want to listen on if you know, and you have an open dialogue. You have discussions about things, but I just don't want to be clashing. Like, after that page got deleted, I mean, that page had 13 or 14,000 followers or something like that. And, you know, that's just poof gone because somebody was offended by it. It fucking sucks. So I don't even want to be in that realm where I can just get ripped out underneath me. But, you know, I'm still going to make fun of everybody, obviously. But that's what I want to do, is I want to give people the information that I was dumb enough to put myself through. I want to share the lessons that I've learned in life because I'm an old fuck now. And there's certain things that I wish, if I would have heard them at 21, 22, if they would have been delivered properly, I could have possibly listened and maybe made my life a little easier. And I want to do that for other people. And it's like Henry Ford said, you got to be obsessed with serving. You know, as soon as you become obsessed with what you can do for others, because a lot of times we get very self-absorbed and we're saying, okay, what can I do? What's going to bring me fulfillment? What can I do? When realistically, the goal of life is, you know, how can you serve others? And then by serving others, they give you their loyalty back. You know, it's just kind of a crazy thing. But once you have that breakthrough and you realize, I mean, think about every successful person. Steve Jobs, I mean, he put a device in everybody's hands that I can just do this. I can sit around. You don't even know if I'm wearing pants or not right now, but I can broadcast to however many people choose to watch this from the comfort of me home, you know, and you can do the same thing. I mean, if I had titties right now, I could bust out my nips right now and then put them in front of a camera and load them on the internet and make a bunch of money. And that's because of Steve Jobs and other people like that. And their whole thing was to serve, you know. Or Henry Ford, for instance, he gave everybody cars. So if you can provide something for other people and it benefits them, it'll benefit you too. Might not be monetarily. Is that the right word? Monetarily initially, but who knows, you know? And that's not what it's all about. I feel good. I feel good when I talk to somebody and I see them saying something that's making the wheels turn in their head, that's making them consider maybe something destructive that they were doing, or if I can just say something offhand that'll be constructive towards somebody's life and make them laugh in the process. Hey, it's a win-win, bro. It's a win-win, you know? So I'm pivoting away from all the political shit. I obviously care, and I'm gonna actively vote a damn motherfucker. But for the most part, it's just not my jam anymore, dude. I remember it was literally, so I got laid off from my job during COVID, right? I got laid off, and then within the next 2 weeks, I was just this big political guy. It makes me realize everybody that's into politics just has nothing else going on. Or that's what they do, and their whole thing is to get people all fucking riled up just to sell them a goddamn Trump mug or a BLM flag, you know? Yeah, dude, it's stupid. It shouldn't be like that. We should just get along. That's what the government does. What the government does is they stir the pot. They create problems to solve, you know? It's the oldest trick in the book. It even has a term. I don't know what the term is. I forget. Yeah, I forget. I would have to look it up. But you basically create a problem to solve, and then you stand there looking like the savior. You know, that's why the Democrats, that's why they say, oh, everything is racist. There's all this shit. Let us come be saviors. That's why I don't really like them that much, but it's okay. We'll live with it. But we finna piv, bro. We finna piv. We finna sidestep, two-step, and piv. And of course I might talk about Butthole Biden or Big 45 in the future and stuff like that. But mostly I just want to I'm trying to work on myself too, you know? I'm trying to work on myself. And so with that, I only want people around me that are working on theyselves. So one thing I've been doing, this is gonna sound fucking nutty. I've been drinking volcano ash. I'm straight up, dude. It's called bentonite clay. Look it up. And what it does, it's a very negatively charged chemical. So most like toxic metals and shit like that you ingest, it has a positive charge. So what you do is you take this bentonite clay. It's the same shit. A lot of women use it as face masks. So when you put it on your face, basically how the clay works, it's like a sponge. So it sucks all the bad shit out of your skin, right? But it doesn't absorb it. It absorbs it, which means the negative charge attracts the positive charge particles, which are typically toxic to your body. Because your body's like a big swimming pool, you know? If you think of your body, we're all water, so it's like a swimming pool. So you got to keep that fucking pool. You got to keep the pH levels. That's why I've been drinking a ton of alkaline water and shit like that, because most of the foods and shit like that you intake are all acidic, right? So you've got a pH level of about 8. Anything lower is, 8 I think is neutral. So anything lower than 7 or whatever is technically acidic, and anything higher is alkaline. So things that are high on the alkaline scale is really green vegetables, right? And acidic is pretty much everything else. So our bodies get kind of fucking out of whack. And so I've been drinking a ton of alkaline water to try to balance my pH levels so my pool is popping. And I've been drinking this fucking bentonite clay, dude, and it's crazy because what it does, so when you ingest it, but you have to get a certain type. You have to get a pure bentonite clay, okay? Don't go just buy don't go to the store and be like, oh, Lord Petty said I can swallow a face mask. No, don't do that. Get a bentonite clay. Message me if you have questions about it. But so you put a teaspoon of it in some water, and I've been taking it with some other shit that like accelerates your digestive system too. So then it goes in your body and it absorbs the bad shit in your body. So, I mean, they give it to people, a lot of cultures, they give it to people if they have parasites or any sort of bad things in their bodies because it absorbs it. It attracts the bad shit. It's like running a magnet through your body. Imagine if you just swallowed a magnet and the magnet attracted all the bad shit, all the toxic things, dude. And then it just puffs up in your butthole and then it cleans out your intestines. Because your intestines it's like a pipe, right? It's like a pipe. If you're running a bunch of water through a pipe, eventually the sides of the pipes are going to get clogged. It's like your butthole, you know? So unless you're taking huge dongs up your ass all the time, you got a bunch of shit just clinging to the sides of your walls. And so if you swallow this clay with enough water, then it'll like pull all the goop off your insides. And then when you eat healthy food after that, then you'll actually absorb the nutrients. You know what I'm saying? And you get great boners. I mean, it's just because I haven't been fucking. I've just been having these crazy. Maybe it's just because I'm horny. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm being healthier or if I'm just not fucking like once every 3 days or something. Because, you know, your boy. It's weird, dude. Some people, when they get out of a relationship, the first thing they do is just like go fuck half the town. I'm so sensitive. I'm realizing how big of a pussy I am. Like I don't even look at other women right now. I just don't. And it's not, okay, that's a lie. I definitely look when I see some cakes walking by. But I just don't, I can't even imagine myself right now. It's just weird. I don't know. I can't just fuck my way out of a bad mood. I've always been kind of like that though, or I don't like drinking when I'm in a bad mood or, self-destructive behavior is just bad, dude. My ego's too big. I don't like self-destructing over other people. And that'd be my biggest recommendation to anybody out there. Like, especially to girls. Because you see it with a lot with girls, they'll get out of relationships and then they think, oh, let me go make my ex-boyfriend jealous. Let me go fucking hoe out. And the thing that you do is you just stand there looking like a great riddance. You know, anytime I've ever called it quits with a girl and then she's on social media flaunting some guy, throwing some dude. I don't know if it's inadvertently or just, flexing some guy. It's like, God, already? I mean, good riddance, And just in general, you see dudes do that. Guys will get out of marriages and they'll decide to just drink themselves to death because they think it'll hurt their exes. But, oh, that bitch left me, so I'm going to drink myself stupid. No, you're going to make her look at you and decide that was a good riddance. He was an idiot. So the best thing to do if you get out of a bad situation is to go and drink a bunch of volcanic clay and take huge dumps and get raging boners. Unless you're a woman, but hey, women can have penises too. Allegedly. But yeah, don't do that. The only way you're ever going to get out of a breakup is properly or anything in general. If you don't face things head on, like the only way to overcome anything is by facing it head on. You can't just sweep shit under the rug because it'll keep appearing. It'll keep appearing on you versus just getting that shit out of the house, like facing it, being like, my house, my metaphorical house is a mess. I need to bring in a big dumpster and get rid of everything. That's what you have to do with your mental. You got to sit there and actually face these things. And if you're feeling shitty, you got to sit there and admit to yourself, okay, I'm feeling shitty, but it's okay. I'm going to feel shitty. And the more you actually face those feelings, they'll go away because you're learning how to cope with them. You're like exercising this mental muscle where if you try to hide from things, they just get out of control. Like if you got a leaky sink, sure, it'll probably last 2 months, but after a while, it's finally just going to blow up, versus just fixing that leak. So if you're in a mentally kind of bad place, you deal with that leak instead of ignoring it and running yourself into the ground like that. Yeah, it's been, I don't get pissed off about anything anymore, dude. I'm like a fucking Teletubby now. I don't get upset about anything. I'm just all Mr. Positive. I'm like, Pitbull's Mr. Worldwide. I'm just Mr. Positive. That's what being based is. I hear a lot of people, they think being based means being Republican. It's not what it means. You see a lot of people, oh, let me own some libs, I'm based. That's not what being based is. A lot of you don't even know who the base god is. A lot of you guys don't even know who Little B is. A lot of you guys never hit one of these. Whoop. You don't even know what that means, so you can't be based. Being based means accepting everybody for how they are and being kind to yourself and being a good, positive person. That's what being based is. And there's 32 levels of based, and I'm trying to get there. So just because you're out here posting Trump memes doesn't mean you're based, okay? I'm sorry to break it to you. Literally, look, like if you never hit a cooking dance, you never told somebody swag, suck my dick, you don't know what being based is. But yeah, I'm just on my positive ish. I want to just get along with everybody. My confidence was so within my last relationship. My confidence was so in the fucking ground because, I was getting excluded from everything. I just thought, okay, well, I don't know. You get treated weird. You start acting weird. It's like if you treat somebody like a villain, they'll be a villain. And so when somebody's not, when you feel like you're this secret or something like that, it makes you start feeling like that's justified or something like that. I realize, oh, people actually fucking like me. Wow, weird. And so I've just been, saying yes to things, going along with stuff, enjoying myself, and trying to just find something good in everything and everybody. You know what I'm saying? And highly recommended. And even so, I've talked about this before, but my car got stolen. Okay, I had this really nice truck, and I got rid of it. R.I.P. truck. I love that truck. And just I decided this is a luxury item that I don't need right now. Okay. Until if you don't have at least a couple $1,000s in the S&P 500, if you don't have a retirement fund that you're contributing at least 10% to, if you don't have real estate under your belt, What the fuck are you doing buying Gucci belts and wearing designer clothes? Like, if you're wearing designer clothes or driving an expensive car, especially if you're leasing it without any of those other things that I just mentioned, like, you're a grade A goofball, straight up. And I've been there, but it just is what it is. So I had this really nice truck and I got rid of it just because I decided, okay, this is a luxury I do not need, because if I were to get a fucked up bill on this thing, I wouldn't be able to just cash pay it, you know? So I just been getting really smart with investing and being good with money and yada yada throughout the last year or so. And Gucci man got a lot of money. But the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I started driving my grandfather's ruby red station wagon, okay? Fucking lesbian mobile, all right? I thought this thing will blend into Seattle. Nobody will mess with it because my truck kept getting broken into. Dirty Mike and the boys kept breaking into it. And I don't know if I've talked about this before. If you've heard this, I'm sorry for talking about my car, okay? This is going to go somewhere. But I got to assume that for some people, this is the first episode because I got this Johnny Sins video on YouTube that's got like 50,000 some plays now where he's talking about my podcast. And so a bunch of people are watching the podcast finally now. So this might be their first episode, okay? And if it is, thank you. But anyways, so my car gets stolen. My grandfather's car that I was driving gets stolen. And I don't understand it. Because like I said, it was just a little lesbian whatever. But it was a great car. It was serving me well. Actually, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed not having to park way the fuck in the back corner or having people constantly target it or, just having a big old truck in Seattle, even though I'm just a country boy with a big truck. So somebody steals the car and I'm more embarrassed. I'm scared. I don't want to tell my grandpa that I got the car stolen, yada, 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 but it's whatever, he's cool about it. So then I go buy another car. Okay. I go buy a Ford Escape, literally just small little compact car. Gets like 34 miles to the gallon. It's got a turbo in it, but it's great. You know what I'm saying? It's great. I mean, I could go get something else, but I just don't. Who the fuck am I? I had this moment. I watched a Porsche drive by one day, and the only reason I remember this is because I knew this story would stick with me. Otherwise, I mean, you see nice cars all the time, but you don't remember them. And it's like, who the fuck am I trying to impress? I'm so arrogant that I don't need to impress other people. Like I'm so fucking arrogant that I can walk into the nicest restaurant in the world with just a white tee on and a pair of jeans and some white sneakers. And I feel like I'm the freshest person there. Okay. I don't give a fuck. I'll admit it. But so I buy this little Ford Escape, right? And I notice I'm going on the freeway. I'm heading home from working with Captain Big Dick up in the San Juans. I'm driving home and the rear's kind of shaking because I hadn't taken it on the freeway yet. And so I call the dealership, say, hey, my shit's tweaking. Can you fix it? They say, yeah, bring it in. So I bring it in. They say I have an imbalance. And then like a week later, I notice when I'm shifting into third, it kind of feels like there's a power band. It's like it's going and then it grips and kind of slings into third. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. And I get on the freeway again. And when I'm in the highest gear, when I'm in sixth gear and it kind of dips down to like 1,000 RPMs, I feel something grinding. Long story short, I already know there's a transmission problem, and I just got this fucking car, okay? And when I was buying it, it was used, and they kept asking me, "Oh, do you want this warranty? Do you want this warranty?" It's like, no, I mean the car's 17 grand. If it blows up, it blows up. I thought at least I would get like 2 years out of it, And because buying cars right now, do not buy a car right now if you don't have to, because there's a big shortage on these microchips that they put in the cars and big shortage on everything because there's this fucking virus, the China virus. Big shortages on everything. But long story short, after having a car, after my truck keeps getting broken into, I get rid of it. I get the little lesbian station wagon from my grandfather, and that gets stolen. Then I get a new car. This is all within a year, okay? I'm fucking vehicle cursed. All of a sudden, within 3 weeks of having this new car, it needs a new transmission. And they tell me, oh, it's going to be $7,000. Really? I could just got the $2,000 warranty, you know, and I feel like they knew about it, but I'm not going to make it sense. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? We're dealing with this. It's part of the story. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's getting a kick out of this. Somebody's laughing like, oh, that sucks. So I'm making somebody's day by telling my misfortune right now. So it is what it is. It just is what it is, bro. Luckily I kind of negotiated with them. I said, well, they offered to get me into a different car, and I kind of did the math because the different car was like there was a difference of 7,000 more, but I already had equity in this other one because I already put like $6,000 into it, and so I said, no, I don't want to start over. Let's just get the new transmission. So talk them into saying, hey, how about I'll cover half? So I'll cover 4,000 of the transmission, and then you guys cover the rest. And that's what's happening. So it just is what it is, dude. So go and buy a Butthole Biden shirt, or what do I even have in the store right now? I think all I have is the shirts that say shirt, but those are fire. Go buy one. Go buy one, or just send me some love. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Let's do, where are we at? Damn, we're already 26 minutes. I posted some questions earlier. I'm going to answer 3 of them because I can do that. So, let's see here. I'll basically say, if you want to have anything addressed on the podcast, send it to lordpettypodcast@gmail.com, or I'm going to start on my Instagram stories, given the chance to just respond to the sticker, because that's probably easier for a lot of people. But let's just do 3 of these. This isn't a question, but it's from John Schruck. Says, love the podcast. Keep up the great work. Well, don't tell me what to do, John. I'm just fucking with you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And then Jade, Illuminati Jade, asks, are masks necessary or only for people who like BDSM? Here's the thing. I'm not a doctor, dude. I'm not a smart person. So, but common sense, okay? Just pure common sense tells me that if the virus is actually as deadly as they say it is, okay? And I found out something else. There's a statistic where they polled a bunch of like super liberal people, and they think it's a 50% mortality rate. So if you would think that coronavirus is a 50% mortality rate, it makes it understandable why these people are so worked up. But so they have false information. They don't know it's like a point something percent of even like falling ill, which I don't understand this vaccine shit. So I got the vaccine, I got the Moderna, and I got sick as balls, okay? And they're telling me vaccinated people are dying because they're getting sick from unvaccinated people because they're still spreading COVID. But you can still spread it even if you're vaccinated, so you have to wear a mask. How does that make sense, okay? Make it make sense. But anyways, so even if it wasn't for all the vaccination and all that shit, okay, I do feel more safe if I remember early on when I was in Costco and I'd look around, everybody's wearing a mask, because I don't like germs in general, bro. I don't like germs. Even if coronavirus wasn't a thing, I'd be for masks on an airplane, for instance, because I always get sick on planes. But I'm always washing my hands, and I'm just big germ Nazi. I don't like them. But if the virus was actually a 50% mortality rate, you think you would do more than put a fucking piece of cloth over your face. You'd be wearing a whole goddamn hazmat suit, you know? But and I don't know about BDSM. Yeah, I'm not into that. Somebody ever tries beating me with a belt, I'm gonna beat them with a fucking conveyor belt. Let's see. Let's do one more. Where'd that go? I'm on my other phone right now. My other one. Daniel says, is it worth voicing your opinion on something if you know it'll lose you friends? I'm within a school environment, so it's not as easy as make new ones. That is a great question. That is a situational thing. Because there's a lot of people who I really enjoy and I really respect, and that's why I'm moving out of the political sphere in general, because I think it's totally possible for us to all coexist and have our own beliefs as long as they don't intrude on other people. So I guess that makes me kind of libertarian or some shit. I don't know. I don't like titles. It's so funny how there's people that just want to put labels, the like anti-racist, accepting of everybody people want to put labels on everything. Like, I don't like labels. I don't like groupthink. I like the individual and I respect the individual. And I think in my own personal belief, it would make the world a lot better if we just respected people's choices. But you should fearlessly be okay. If somebody asks you, be honest. That's what I would say. If somebody wants to have the conversation, be unapologetically honest. But it's really not your business to butt into somebody else. Let me make sure I'm reading the question correct. Is it worth voicing your opinion on something? If it's spilling onto your plate, I would say so. If not, or if somebody seems, because you got to find people that seem rational enough to have a conversation with. Like when I see somebody it could go either way. When I see somebody like just some white trash person sitting there with a Trump hat and Confederate flags and yada, yada, this, like where their profile picture is a big eagle swooping down and grabbing Jesus by the back, and Jesus is like striking down anybody I just know like, okay, there's no reasoning with this person. And then the same thing if I see Emily, BLM, she, her, they pronouns, I just know like these people are so far off the deep end where I'm just going to keep my distance. Like it's a big world. There's a big world. I can keep my distance. And unless it comes spilling on my plate, I don't give a fuck what they do. So that would be I mean, if you're going to date somebody, you don't need to be friends with people, but you choose to have people in your life who you want to have in your life. So if you just have a huge moral quarrel with somebody, you can choose to just cut them out of your life. But one thing I've learned is you're not going to change anybody's mind by fighting with them. So if somebody seems reasonable and they just seem misinformed on something, I think it's worth bringing up to them. I enjoy that. I respect that about people. If I say something, if it's not a joke, like if I'm in my beliefs about a certain way, and if somebody wants to present me with whatever it may be, as long as it's not like a CNN article about why I'm wrong, like I respect that if they're taking the time to politely point me in a direction where I'm going to learn something. So I would say go for it. If it's going to lose you friends, I don't know, because do you want dumb friends? I don't. So I don't even have friends. I have people that I really enjoy and that I do consider my friends. So I shouldn't say that. But my social life is just not what it used to be. And that's because I want to come out of the other end a certain way. And so I spend more time actually searching for knowledge. And so there's definitely people out there that'll respect you for approaching subjects. Just pick your marks, Don't waste your time on the vegan with the steer piercing, on the people that don't eat animals that look like animals. Anyways, please, whatever platform you're watching this on, or listening, whatever, if you're watching it on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share. Is that what you do on YouTube? I think that's it. Apple Podcasts, please leave a review and a rating, and everything else I don't really know because I don't consume anything on it, but I'm there. So thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Shout outs to you, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.